Hello, hello, it's Jessica. I'm back with another layout for 30 Days of Sketches. Today is day 19 with a fun sketch created by Hannah Panter, and her Instagram handle is Mrs_CraftyMama. And I've pulled out a solid sheet of basil cardstock. It's a textured cardstock in a deep blue shade, and then I pulled out my Simple Stories collection Safe Travels, and I've pulled out this beautiful green floral background paper that I actually already had torn from another layout on the bottom, so I must have used just a little section of it before, and I just had to trim the sides down just a little bit and do some machine stitching, and then that was already done. So I'm happy that I'm using up some of my scraps today, so that's really great. It makes me happy. And then I've pulled out a piece of white cardstock, and I have used my Creative Memories paper tearer to just tear the edge to match the bottom one, because it looks like I used that on that one as well. So I have just torn that edge and then distressed the rest of the edges, and I will probably go back through and do some machine stitching around that edge as well. And then I'm just pulling out some bits from this collection. I'm going to pull out some of these cute little tags, so I'm going to trim those off and get those trimmed down into their little shapes and punch the holes out with my hole puncher. And then I am going to put these at the bottom of my page. This was not on the sketch, but I thought that would just look super cute and just give it another little element at the bottom to kind of bring in that vertical effect that I'm going to go for on this sketch layout. So today I am using a photo of my boys, and please, I will put a disclaimer in here. Do not give me the thumbs down button right now. This is a photo of my kids riding on the lawnmower, but full disclosure, they are not actually riding when he's mowing. They are just riding on it with the mower turned off. They wanted to go for a ride with Daddy, so I told them to put their earmuffs on because it is a little bit loud. So for safety, we put their earmuffs on and let them just cruise around in the yard after he already mowed the grass. So full disclosure, do not give me the thumbs down because I do keep my kids safe. So they don't ride around with it with the mower on. So we're all good. So what I'm doing here is I pulled out a stamp set by Close to My Heart, which I'll put below in the description for you. And I have pulled out some various inks and oxides by Ranger. These are the distress inks and oxides. And I am just stamping some little grunge, kind of looks like paint, I guess splotches or paint kind of like smudged on there. So I am just stamping this in all three of these colors that I pulled out, and just following this sketch pretty closely. It looked like she had some little elements all over her sketch design, so that's what I'm pulling in here. I'm just kind of making it my own and using some of my stamps, which is something that I love to do on my layouts. I love to pull out my stamps. And another thing, I always cut off camera. You hardly ever see me cut anything on camera because I have a large paper cutter. I don't usually mention that, but I know that you guys, most of you here have watched my previous videos. You know that I usually do all my cutting off camera, and I cut that part out. No pun intended. So I use a big paper trimmer. It's a guillotine paper trimmer with the arm on it that lifts up and down, and it's the big one. So that's why it's not in my videos, because it's just so big that I don't like to pull it over on top of my layout and on top of everything on my desk. So it always sits here on my left beside me. So here I am just continuing my stamping. I stamped some little paint splats on there, and I've used Distress Oxide in black soot for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and secure my tags down here at the bottom because I know that's exactly where I want them to go. I love them down there. I'm going to just put them so they're peeking through at the bottom. And then I will secure everything else down here. My photo I've matted with one of the background papers that I had just a little scrap of. It wasn't actually a full scrap to cover the entire thing. There's a little triangle that's cut out from a star that I cut out previously on a layout, but you can't even tell because it's right where that stamping is on the left side. So I am just rolling with it and using up some of my scraps today, which makes me feel so good because I'm trying to use up some of my older collections and things in my stash, because I'm just trying to not buy anything else and just start using up some of the stuff that I have. I think I have enough paper to last a lifetime or two. So I really need to get some of this stuff used up. I've pulled out some of the puffy stickers from the Simple Stories collection, and I think this is the Safe Travels collection. Yeah, I think I might have mentioned that earlier, but I'm not sure. If I didn't, it's the Safe Travels collection. It's one of my absolute favorites of all time. So I love this collection. I love the colors in it. They're totally my jam. So I really, really love this collection, and I do gravitate towards it quite often when I'm doing kind of travel theme layouts or anything that can be used as travel theme. Like, this is not technically a travel layout, but Let's Go kind of goes with it. So the Let's Go collection and then the Safe Travels collection by Simple Stories are two of the ones that I pull out a lot for all of these photos of my kids on the go. So I've added some puffy stickers there. I'm adding some journaling strips now. Instead of doing some hand journaling, because it's pretty self-explanatory what they're doing. I know what they were doing. I'm sure my husband knows what they were doing, and it's pretty self-explanatory. They were just riding around. They weren't actually mowing. So I am just going to put some phrases at the bottom just to go with the sketch design, because she had some journaling strips there at the bottom, it looked like. And then I guess it could also be paper strips. Now that I'm looking at this sketch again, it could actually be paper strips she has there, not journaling. But you know what? I've used it for journaling today. So we're going to go with that, and I'm going to use that as my theme there. And my baby girl is cruising around my house right now as I speak, so I need to shut my baby gate. She is actually about 20 feet away from where I just parked her, so she's apparently learning how to scoot across the floor and crawl. So we need to be safe here now, again. So I'm just going to add a couple of these little enamel dots and adhesive brads to this layout. She looked like she had some little circles or bubbles in her layout, so I'm assuming those were like sequins or enamel dots, something like that. So I'm just trying to follow the sketch that Hannah designed pretty closely. And then here I'm just kind of tapping my fingers, deciding what else I want to add. I'm going to put my date stamp right there along the side. I don't really see anywhere else that I can put it. And here you can see I've done the rest of my machine stitching around that outside edge of the white. And then I'm just going to do a couple little stamps. This is from the Let's Go collection, this stamp set from Simple Stories. And I'm just going to do these little plus signs just to grunge it up just a little bit more and add a little more pop of something to this layout. So that's pretty much going to finish this one up, other than adding some embroidery floss or twine to those little tags at the bottom. My stapler does run out of staples right in the middle of attaching my my little tails onto my tags. I didn't want them hanging off the bottom and kind of getting squished in my album, so I am just going to pull them back up and just adhere them right back to the tag. So I'm just doing a little something different. I didn't feel like tying them in a bow, so I decided to just pull out my tiny attacher and just staple them right to the tag. So it works for me. And yeah, that's where I run out of staples. So I'm just refilling that and attaching this other one just like the first one that I did. And I love this layout. I love this sketch so much. I think it's so cute. There's so many different things that you could do with it. So if you want to play along with this sketch too, you can in the Facebook group, which I will link below for you. It's 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. So thank you so much, Hannah, for creating this lovely sketch for us today. And thanks so much for that inspiration. And I hope you guys can play along. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.